Even in my own house, I'm like, I don't know if I like it. I don't know if I like it. Oh my gosh, it's so much money. Oh, what if I have to pay him again? Oh. Hi, welcome to the House of Valentina. I'm Valentina, and today we are answering your most burning questions about paint colors because I know that this is one of your biggest struggles, and I totally get it because it is so overwhelming to pick the right paint colors. And it is not just a simple thing that you go to the store and they have all these options. And how on earth are you supposed to pick the right paint colors? And people say things about undertones and whites and grays and beiges and what's in style, and you're spending all this money getting your walls painted, or you're taking the time to do it yourself, which I think is almost worse because I paint a lot in my own house, and the thought of picking the wrong color and having to do that work twice is, I can't bear it. I can't bear it. So I want to help you guys today. I want to help answer your questions about paint. If this is your first time ever visiting House of Valentina, we hope you'll go ahead and hit the subscribe button, give the video a thumbs up if you were excited about talking about paint. Here at House of Valentina, we just absolutely love talking about you guys and your homes and creating these beautiful spaces. And we think that the world is the most amazing place to be inspired. After living in several different countries over the course of 12 years, from Spain, Morocco, Denmark, we've traveled all over the world. We've discovered that the best inspiration for any of our spaces is the world itself and the beautiful people that live in it. So it is our honor and delight to be a part of helping you create your home, helping you create your spaces that you really love. And I think one of the key ingredients is paint. So let's jump in and talk about that, paint. Before you even pick up the deck of colors, before you go to the store to even think about colors, this is my number one advice, is to think about what you really want first. Don't even ask your friends what the most popular color is. Don't do any of those things. Now, if you are selling your house, that might be a little bit different of a conversation because you guys know we run a real estate and design business, so we kind of go from both sides. We see both sides of that coin. So I understand that sometimes you're thinking about what is trending, what are the people gonna buy. I understand that. But before you even get to that point, you really need to think about the home that you're in and the vibe, the style, the mood, all those things. So what your home has right now. Because you can't just plug in whatever is trending into just any old house. We don't just flippantly paint every single house white or black or gray just because those are the colors that we like. We really stop and think about the house and the home and what we're really trying to achieve with paint. Because paint is by far your most powerful tool that you have to create the mood of your home. So I suggest go on Pinterest, get out your magazines, think about some place that you've been. You guys know we're obsessed with travel. We're obsessed with going to hotels and places that are beautiful that inspire us. So think about that first. The most amazing part of that is that this is actually one of the most budget-friendly ways to create a beautiful space. So yeah, it is expensive. I know. It is an investment to paint your walls, or if you're thinking about the exterior of your house, I know because I've done it myself, and it's just a chunk of change, and it's like, I just want to make sure I get it right. So the best way to get that right, the best way to get the most bang for your buck is to think about that overall feeling that you want first, and then start working your way backwards from there. Tip number 2 is to create a palette for your home. When you create an overall feeling for the entire house, so curb, inside, upstairs, downstairs, and all the way out that back door, once you've created a palette for the entire home, it is gonna make your life a million times easier. It's gonna make choosing furniture, it's gonna make choosing floors, and every finish that comes after that just a million times easier. You really want to think about the overall essence and mood and create a palette with the colors. So you're just literally gonna think through, okay, I need a white, I need a black, I need a blue, I need a cream. I've got all these colors, I'm gonna line them up. I personally, when I'm working with my clients, I put them into a mood board. If you're interested in doing something like that, you can go to sites like PicMonkey. I think they allow you to do these little collages for free. These are so important that you really wanna do these first. Okay, what happens a lot of times is that we've gone to the store and we picked out some colors and we come home and it's like, I don't know why it just doesn't seem to be working. Okay, there's a lot of reasons why, but the main reasons are that you haven't thought about the undertones. So when you, okay, let's just pick a blue, okay? Let's pick Silver Cloud. Silver Cloud, I'm looking at Benjamin Moore. Silver Cloud is a very nice light blue. It's a babyish blue. And if I move this around the house, it's gonna change colors depending on what space I'm in, depending on what kind of tree coverage I have, and all these different factors, right? But there's another part of this. There's another part of this is that the undertones of this color are very blue. And it's like, duh, it's blue. Okay, I know, I promise this is gonna make sense, okay? You can kind of look down. What I do is I look down at the bottom to kind of give me a clue as to what exactly I'm looking at. So you can have a blue that has a green undertone, and you can have a blue that has a yellow undertone, and orange and reds, and you can see all these colors. So what I'm trying to do when I'm creating that palette for the home, when I've kind of thought through the mood and I'm thinking about my colors for the whole house, I've got to look at the undertones of these colors and make sure that they all have a similar undertone, especially in areas where they're going to be open to each other. Okay, so let's talk about for a minute some of the grays that you guys are asking me a lot about. So if you are looking for something that has a little bit more of a brownish undertone, a lot of people are moving from these colors back here that were more in these autumn colors, okay? A lot of the 90s is where we were kind of back in here. So before we had Sugar Cookie is a really good beigey, yellowy kind of color that a lot of people were using in the 90s and the early 2000s. Okay, so you know you don't want this, but you don't know what to do next. What you need to think about are the undertones here, because what's happening is that this is very yellow, and you can look down at the bottom to see what the darkest version of that color is. And that will help you kind of differentiate why, let's say, Lacy Pearl has a brown undertone. You can definitely see down at the bottom how different these colors are. So when you're choosing your colors for your home, you want to think about the undertones. What's the deepest shade? That's how I find it easiest to process, is to look at the deepest shade of that and see if that's the color that I would really want. Next, we need to talk about the color undertones of your furnishings. Most people are not designing an entire space from scratch. If you are, this is gonna be so much easier. You can put all these colors together and really think through, put the sofa fabric next to the paint color and put everything together. Most people have already bought something for the house. Maybe they have a rug or the sofa or, a table and chairs or bedding that they want to keep in the space. So what you want to do is look at the undertones of those pieces. So right now, if you go to the store and you buy a gray sofa, there's a gray there's a gray that has a brown undertone. There's gray sofas that have blue undertones. There's gray sofas that have green. Or you could even have one with a yellow undertone. So you really want to be looking at the fabrics and the things that you're working from, whether it's that rug or the sofa, the bedding, any of that stuff. Look at the color undertones of those things and work your way backwards from that to the paint color. You've got to make sure that the undertones of your wood match these colors. It's all the same principles all over again. You've got to think through, what color woods do you have? I personally like to put all of this into that mood board. I like to have the wood tones. I like to have the fabrics. I like to have everything in my mood board so I can pull that cohesive look together and the whole thing looks amazing together. So definitely think through your wood tones. If they have more of a brown, if they have, a lot of times if you've got cherry, you've got a lot of red tones in your home, and you're not thinking through that you've got a red undertone and then maybe you've put it with a yellow and it's something just doesn't feel right. It's all these kinds of things that are gonna help you before you ever get to the paint store to get the right samples. Okay, we have finally arrived to the thing that you wanted to get to from the very beginning. You're like, come on, woman, get to the point. I know. The fun part is going to get the samples and trying them all out, but we gotta get you to the right samples before we have you testing colors. I want you to feel empowered to choose the right colors and get you to that destination. So now that you've chosen the colors that you think are going to work in your space, you've got them chosen, you're gonna go ahead and run to the store and go and get some samples. I think it's really genius. There's companies like Keller and Sherwin-Williams, and a lot of them now offer these peel and stick versions of their paint that you can put up on your wall, and they're removable. Those are really awesome. I'm still a little bit old-fashioned. I just like to put it up on the wall and see how it's gonna look. The only problem with that, and with all of these, is when you're sampling your colors, you have to realize that whatever the paint color that was there before is going to play tricks on your eye. So if you are going from a yellow beige to a brown beige, your eye is just gonna fight it. It's just gonna say it's not gonna work, because I don't know what it is. When you put them next to each other on the wall, they just don't look right. And this is what I'm going through with one of my clients right now, which hopefully we'll get to see this whole thing on this channel very soon. But we're picking paint colors for the whole house, and what works in one room doesn't work in another room. And the yellow that is on the walls is totally competing with the new colors that we're trying to put up. And the homeowner is just going crazy because she's just like, how many more colors am I gonna have to put on these walls? And I'm like, look, we've got to make sure that this color in this room goes in all your rooms, or we need to pick a different color for maybe the office as we do for the back of the house, because the lighting situation is so different from the different spaces. So make sure you get samples, make sure you try them in different areas of the house if you're choosing one paint color for the whole shebang, or make sure that you've tried it around the room even to see that you're happy with that color before the painter comes and paints out the whole kitchen in that color. My next tip is really a word of encouragement, and that is that if something doesn't feel right, keep trying, and don't be afraid to just change it. So I tell people all the time, I think that this is gonna work. I'm fairly certain that it will. We've analyzed the undertones, we've walked this color around the house. I'm about 99% sure that this is gonna be the right color. But I watch those colors going up as well, because I really want to make sure, even in that moment, that I've chosen the right color, because I would rather stop either myself or the painter from finishing out a space right then before the whole thing is done and pay the extra $100 or so to go get a new gallon of paint than to have painted the entire room the wrong color. I think this is always hard if you're switching color tones, especially when you're switching the undertones of those colors. This is the hardest point. When I went from really golden yellow beiges to whites, even me, it kind of freaked me out. I mean, I'm used to this, but even in my own house, I'm like, I don't know if I like it. I don't know if I like it. Oh my gosh, it's so much money. Oh, what if I had to pay him again? Oh. I so totally understand this from personal experience. I understand it. Watch the colors going up. Give them a chance. Don't just immediately think that you're gonna hate it. But if you find that you really just don't like the color, just change it. Just change it. Don't sit in a room for the next 5 to 10 years in a color that you hate, because you didn't take this moment right when it's getting done to just simply change it. So my final word of advice is that you should have fun, because Choosing paint is supposed to be fun. You're not supposed to have anxiety attacks. You're not supposed to be breathing into a bag, hyperventilating. You're not supposed to be staying up at night, terrified that you've painted your house the wrong color. This is supposed to be fun. Creating a home that's special, creating a home that feels like that space, that retreat, it's supposed to be fun. And you shouldn't take it too seriously. People really do just completely stress out and panic over these colors. And I feel so bad. A lot of you are like, oh my God, like, what do I do? I think I picked the wrong colors and the painter is here. And that's why we have those virtual services available, so you can reach us or one of our team members to go ahead and get some advice on those colors. I'll leave a link below for that if you get to where you're like, I just really need help. But I hope that this video has helped you. It's given you some tips and tricks on how we choose the colors for a home and what we're kind of thinking through. So it'll just give you some food for thought and get your mind working. We're actually in the middle of creating a course that will help you with all these things, and we'll go way more in depth with this. But I hope for now that it's really giving you some really good tools that will help you as you're doing this today. If the painter's at your house today, or if you're ready to paint that room today, I hope that this has helped you. And I hope that you've enjoyed it. I love talking about paint. I love talking about these colors. It really is a joy. I just think that paint is such a wonderful tool to creating an amazing environment in your home, and that's why I just love it so much. So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for visiting us at our home and having a great chat with us. My coffee is right here. I'm like, So thank you guys so much for joining us. We've got so many rooms to share with you. We are working like busy little beavers behind the scenes on a ton of room makeovers. It's a new series coming to this channel. We're so excited we can barely breathe. We're so excited about this. We are going to be combining our passions, travel and design, to come out with a new series for this channel. And we're gonna be making over our spaces and our clients' spaces. I can't wait to bring this out to you guys. So if you're excited about that as much as we are, or even like a tenth as excited as we are, hit the subscribe button, share our channel with your family and friends, and maybe they're, struggling with paint and they need some advice or just looking for some inspiration. Go ahead and share our channel with them and help get the word out, because we just love being a part of your homes. We love being a part of all of this. It truly is an honor. It really is. So thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you in the next one. Bye. Hi, how are you?
Hi.
You doing your schoolwork?
Yep.
Yeah? You having fun? Are you having fun? Yeah, I know we got to start Indian in the cupboard. I love that book. Shouldn't we have everybody hit subscribe and go visit us at Instagram so they can see what we're doing with your room?
Oh yeah, they should. They definitely should.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they won't know what's going on.
Yeah, that's true. Awesome. You ready for some lunch?
Yep.
Okay. Bye, guys.